So first of all, the flash forward where we see Saul scrambling to go into witness protection, it's so good because Better Call Saul, they do these moments of fan service, these cameos, these callbacks so well because they keep it subtle. They know the Breaking Bad, these characters, these locations, they have such gravity and weight, they don't have to do much. I remember that scene of Hector, he's going around Los Polos, just filling up his soft drink, and the whole scene, there's so much tension with nothing at all. We know these characters, we know these locations, we know what they're capable of, we know what the future holds. So when they bring these characters, Tuco, Hector, these locations, they know that less is more, and that keeps it from overpowering the show and turning it to just, Breaking Bad light. It still has its own character, own identity, but you also get these really nice moments. I loved Gail's last episode. What I also thought was interesting was when Saul is talking about the other lawyer. We've never really thought, we've always seen Saul as kind of a lone wolf, but he may have had help setting up this kind of criminal enterprise with some other lawyers maybe. Now we know Kim isn't going to get that evil where she's going to get on board with anything that Saul does, but Howard, he's always been this, less a character, more just a symbol of nepotism and privilege. But now we've seen some real potential for change and growth, and maybe could we even see Jimmy and Howard team up a bit? Now, I know that probably seems out there, but I actually think that would be kind of interesting and kind of cool. And then Jimmy, all his hustling with these cell phones, I don't understand what's driving him at this point. Is it just he has this guilt and he's punishing himself when he gets beaten up and mugged? That's almost what he was driving for because he feels responsible and guilty. Is he just so addicted to adrenaline and the rush? By the way, when he scuttled that job interview that he was doing really well, do you have any ideas on why he did that? Because for me, it reminded me a bit of, he was almost mad at nice people who are too trusting and too gullible. And remember when that guy walked into his dad's shop, was like, oh, he's taking advantage of his dad, and he's like, look, there's wolves and sheep. It's almost like Jimmy's he knows he could be a wolf, and he's so mad at the sheep because he feels so bad for them. So he goes into that job interview, and he sees these nice people who are so nice and trusting, and he just knows that someone could come in and take advantage of him, and that hurts him so much. So it was almost like an anger at people for being too nice and too trusting. But I don't know what Jimmy's angle is at this point. It's a little confusing, similar to Kim. So she's having this midlife crisis, kind of wants more meaning and to do something more meaningful than just help a bank's endless expansion. But when she blows off that emergency meeting, seems partly she's taking this hard stand that's saying, look, I'm going to value people and struggling people over just banks and finances. But it also seemed a bit like she was trying to get fired a bit, and she doesn't feel the strength to really do what she wants to do and walk away, be a public defender. She's not strong enough to do that, so she's trying to kind of force their hand and force them to make the decision for her. But obviously we see it didn't really work out. It's interesting, the movie they mentioned, Dr. Zhivago, that's a guy in the old Soviet Union, kind of a gadfly standing up to this oppressive system. I don't know if they're trying to make any parallel with Jimmy seeing capitalism as the system where it's all BS and it's all image, and he can go into a job interview and depending on how he talks, that's what matters rather than him actually being a good person, and Jimmy kind of rejecting that. I don't know exactly what Better Call Saul's always trying to say. Getting to Mike, I do know what that storyline was trying to say, and it's so interesting. Last episode, it ends with a big cliffhanger where Mike's like, just tell me what the job is, and you finally think this slow pace is going to pick up, Mike's gonna assassinate Nacho or the cartel's gonna come to head. But no, what actually happens is we get Mike transporting two different potential architects, and we just to drive home the lesson that Gus is someone who's cautious and patient and values those qualities rather than arrogance, which we saw with Walter White. Again, a lesson we already knew, and it's just Better Call Saul sometimes drives you crazy just with how just slow and patient it really is. So that's all I've got. I didn't have a big review planned, but I mostly wanted to ask about him walking out of the job interview a couple episodes ago, because I realized I thought I'd kind of mull it over and something would come to me, but I still don't really have a good answer for that. So I was trying to kind of crowdsource. So if you have any ideas, I'd appreciate you helping out with that.